Okay, what are flows? What are broadcasts? What are sequences? What do these words mean? How do they impact how you use manychat and how your audience connects with your messages? We're going to get right into it right now. So, a flow. This is a quick look at what a flow could look like, but just to explain it better, a flow could just be one message or it could be a bunch of messages. It can be only sent as part of a broadcast or a sequence. So you can't have a flow by itself. Of course, you can see it in the back end of your ManyChat account, but your audience and the people that are subscribed to your bot will not be able to see a flow if it is not a part of a broadcast or a sequence. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to show you an example of a flow because visuals are key here. So let me share my ManyChat account screen and we will show you a real example of a flow. So this is a quick look inside ManyChat once you have created your account and you've logged in. This is your home screen. Now to see a flow on the left sidebar, you're going to simply go down to where it says automation and you'll see that the first option there is flows. Now the standard, when you create your ManyChat account, it will come with some standard examples for you so that you can kind of get in there, see what's up, and get a better understanding for you instead of it just being completely a blank slate. So these messages right here, these flows, are actually provided for you by ManyChat when you start a new account. I have many different ManyChat accounts, and this one is the example we're using so that for the majority of people watching this video, who are new to ManyChat and creating their account, this is what is going to be most helpful for you to see as opposed to my other accounts that have loads and loads of flows and sequences and lots of other information. So what you would simply do is you can edit a message that's already here. But the easiest thing to do is the top right, you'll see this blue button that says new flow, and it will give you all these different prompts in here, and you will actually see inside a flow builder. So let me just click and show you this one for an example. And you'll see that we are viewing a published version. So there's a starting step, okay, and then a message. So this is what a flow could look like. Now, again, it can be one message and just be done here, or if we wanted to edit and add some more messages, we could do so. So if I add a button and next step, if I wanted to change what's here, or maybe add a little bit more text, click the button to continue. Let's just make it basic. And let's add it here. Click the button to continue. All right. And then you'll see that if we scooch this on out of the way, you can see that you have the starting step. They've subscribed to your bot. You have one message, you have another message, and this can continue for as many messages as you'd like. This is one example of a flow. If I wanted to change the title of the flow, simply right up here, I can do so. Flow 1. Okay, so that's a quick look at what a flow is. Now, we're going to get into broadcasts and sequences because in order for anyone, again, to see your flow, the flow has to go into a sequence or a broadcast message. And then you'll see that if we scooch this on out of the way, you can see that you have the starting step. They've subscribed to your bot. You have one message, you have another message, and this can continue for as many messages as you'd like. This is one example of a flow. If I wanted to change the title of the flow, simply right up here, I can do so. Flow 1. Okay, so that's a quick look at what a flow is. Now, we're going to get into broadcasts and sequences because in order for anyone, again, to see your flow, the flow has to go into a sequence or a broadcast message. One last thing to point out is what is super great is that ManyChat will save all of your flows. So you may have a long drop down list here of lots and lots of flows. And what I love about that is ManyChat does that so that you can reuse flows anytime you need to or want to as a broadcast message or in a sequence. So it's ManyChat's way of backing up everything that you've done. And it knows that a lot of messages may be beneficial to be recycled and reused multiple times over. So it makes it super easy for you to do that. Next up, we have broadcasts. So, what are broadcasts? I want you to think of a broadcast in manychat just as if the same thing as if you would as an email broadcast. They have the same purpose, same intention. A broadcast can be a single message, which becomes its own flow when it is sent, then, or you can attach it to a longer flow within it. A broadcast is real time and a one time message. And what's great is that you can send it immediately or you can schedule it out for a date and a time in the future. So, option one is a single message, which will become a flow after it has been sent. And that would look, and option two would look like this: a question, which leads into another flow, a longer message, and it can continue on for as many messages in that flow as there is. As with anything else, it's very helpful when you can see visuals. So let me share my screen right now and show you how you can create your own broadcast message. So again, on the home screen that you see right here in front of you on the left sidebar, if you go down to where it says broadcasting, you will see this screen. And all you simply need to do is add a new broadcast. You'll see this message, which will show you that if you have the free ManyChat account, then your only option is in Messenger, which is great, which is fine. If you have the pro account, you'll be able to have a broadcast text message through email or multiple other channels. Now you'll see this when you click the messenger option that you have a starting step and then you'll have a message. The starting step is telling you that once they're in this broadcast, their first message will be a messenger message. Okay. And then from there, you can simply create your message and add a button. And you have a bunch of different message options right now in your broadcast. Now, one of the other things you could do, like I said, is we can add a flow to this broadcast. So the broadcast can be standalone, just like this, message after message, as long as you want and need. Or you can scroll down right here and choose next step. And you'll see this box, this window will pop open. One of the options for you is start another flow. So now you will see, if I want to get rid of this message here and we zoom out a little bit, you will see that there's a starting step. You'll have one message and then it can start a flow. What's really cool about this and very helpful is if you created this flow and that flow might make sense for multiple different campaigns or marketing messages for different audiences that you may have, you will be able to do the work once and create that really great flow and then use it in multiple different broadcast messages if that makes sense and if that is helpful for you. So from here, I will click to select a flow and all of the flows that I have will be listed here. All I have to do is select one, hit select this flow, and there you go. A sequence. What is a sequence? I want you to think of a sequence like you would an email autoresponder because it has the same concept. It's a series of messages that will be sent and they can be spaced out at whatever intervals you choose, whatever makes sense. And the messages are sent based on when the user gets subscribed to the sequence. So, one example can be this is the message that gets sent out immediately in the sequence. Then after 45 minutes, they have another part of the sequence. After 2 days, after 6 days. And this is a quick overview of what it could look like. So when you're a part of a sequence, similarly again as an email autoresponder, you get a message once you've subscribed to a list or you've triggered a keyword or whatever your starting step was, and you will get the messages sent immediately. And then after the time that you have dictated for when the next message is to be sent out, when it makes the most sense. So in this example, again, it's immediate message after 45 minutes, after 2 days, and then you're spacing 4 days later, and it gets after 6 days. So you can see how this can be very, very powerful marketing and great for you to nurture that audience and remind them why they're a part of their list and why they're subscribed to you and your channel and your offers. And let me show you what this looks like once you're inside manychat so you can see that visual as well. Once inside your manychat account, you will simply go over to automation on the left-hand side, and there you will see sequences. If you have a brand new manychat account, obviously this is the screen you will see. where you don't have any sequences. So let's walk through what that looks like and how to set one up. You can use this button or you can use the top right new sequence button. And we're going to name it BFB, Bots for Bosses. And now we're going to start. This is what you're going to see. So you will notice that after one day, this is the starting message. Now, if you see here where it says plus message, I can do as many messages as I want to, need to. And then in order to create the intervals of when these messages will be sent out, on the left side where it says schedule, and next to each one it says after one day, all you need to do is simply click once on that, and you can change that here. If I want this to go out immediately from when they subscribe to the sequence, I can do that, hit save and update schedule. If I wanted the next message to go out, let's say 3 hours from the time they got received their first message in the sequence, I can do that as well, save and update. And so on and so forth. And you'll notice you have different options: days, hours, minutes, or immediately. So you have a lot of flexibility and a lot of different time and a lot of different messages that you can put inside your sequence. In order to edit the message of what's going in, sent out immediately or in each of these messages, you are simply going to click create the new reply, and it will open up this window, this screen, and that at that point you can send your message. Now, what's really powerful is you can, let's click on send message here. Get ready. We're just going to put something in there for fun right now. And if you scroll to the bottom and you hit choose next step, you'll notice that you can attach a flow to this sequence. Again, really powerful, especially if you have messages that make sense to go out in certain sequences with certain offers that you have out there right now. And so you can do that. You can start a new flow or attach an existing flow, or you can continue creating your own messages this way. Well, there you have it. That's the difference between flows, sequences, and broadcasts. I hope that shed some new light for you. I hope it became more clear. I hope you have a new understanding of what each of these words mean within the manychat platform when you're designing your bot messages for your audience.